watching CBS 2 News this morning in high definition.
Primary pressure, candidates in several key races pulling out all the stops as the polls open at this hour across New York State.
New troubles for the imam behind the controversial Islamic Center for near Ground Zero. He could be headed to court for allegedly neglecting his other tenants.
Plus, in the hospital following a brutal training session, was a local SWAT officer pushed too far under harsh conditions. Good morning, I'm Mary Calvi.
And I'm Maurice Dubois. Great to have you with us. Coming up on 6:01, it's Tuesday morning, the 14th of September. Let's get right into the weather and the traffic, too. Better day ahead, John.
Oh, vastly improved day today. Great afternoon. Good morning, Maurice and Mary. The problem is this morning we do have fog around the area. Okay in the city hanging on to a little bit of residual heat, and that's part of the equation where you have cooler temperatures. That moisture from yesterday causes the low clouds and fog. Starting with fog, parts of the area, but then mix it away and you've got a sunny day. 75 by lunchtime, 79 your high and feeling fine. Sun's up at about 6:35. Sun sets at 7:07. Very nice day today. Pick of the week is today. Not too bad on your Wednesday. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Right now, though, right back to Mary and Maurice.
Thanks, John.
And now over to Katie McGee with traffic.
Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Maurice. Good morning, everybody. And unfortunately, it's been a long morning already at the 59th Street Bridge. Queensbound upper level. That truck accident is still in the process of being cleaned up. And while that continues, all traffic's being diverted off at 21st Street. Now, inbound, not too bad. Upper East River Crossings, Midtown Tunnel, you're looking pretty good at all of those. If you're headed to the Verrazano anytime soon, not bad at all. The ride. Staten Island into Brooklyn looking good on both levels, and Staten Island Bridge crossings getting into Staten Island. An easy start here at the Bayonne, the Outer Bridge, and the Goethals. Alternate sides in effect citywide today. Maurice, back to you.
Thank you, Katie. Top story. New York's 2010 primary is now officially underway. The polls just opened a minute ago across the state. CBS 2's Catherine Brown live in Harlem at a polling place with a look at some of the tightest races of the day. Good morning to you, Catherine.
Hi, good morning to you, Maurice. And yeah, polls just opened a minute ago, as you said. Here at PS 175, you can see the doors are open. There's someone hanging signs up here directing voters where to go this morning. They're prepared for a very busy day as voters across the state cast their votes for their choices on top races from the governor on down. The race to lock up the Republican nomination for governor is razor thin. Former Representative Rick Lazio has sealed the GOP's endorsement.
I've been in contact with America Congressman. I was on the budget committee that wrote the first balanced budget. I've always voted to lower taxes.
But he's fighting a late race surge from Carl Palladino, a Buffalo businessman who's been embraced by the Tea Party.
I found out that they're all just like us.
The Republican nominee will face off against Democrat Andrew Cuomo, who's exiting his post as Attorney General, leaving a hotly contested void. Nassau County District Attorney Kathleen Rice, a Democrat, will square off against State Senator Eric Schneiderman, her biggest opposition in a five-way race. She's worked to cast Schneiderman as an Albany insider, but he has labor unions in his corner and has been gaining momentum.
We're not going to give it back. We waited too long.
Meantime, scandal-scarred State Senator Pedro Espada has a tough battle for re-election.
We will sing the song of victory and push our enemies out.
The Bronx Democrat is facing a slew of corruption charges, and his opponent, Gustavo Rivera, has been endorsed by the Reverend Al Sharpton and a number of local newspapers. Voters will also decide whether to send Charlie Rangel back to Washington. The Harlem Democrat is trying to fend off a field of 5 challengers who say he's too tarnished by ethics concerns to keep his job.
Everybody believes it's a big cloud, and they don't give you, they tell you you're under confidentiality. Your reputation's out there.
And Charlie Rangel and Governor Patterson both expected to vote here at PS 175 a little later this morning. But apart from all the politicians, analysts expect a relatively low voter turnout of about 10%. Live this morning in Harlem, I'm Catherine Brown, CBS 2 News.
Thank you, Catherine. The polls are open until 9 tonight, and be sure to stay with CBS 2 and CBSNewYork.com for complete primary day coverage. We will have election results tonight at 11.
A plea of guilty could be heard as early as today at the trial of a man accused in the brutal beating of a college student from Brooklyn. Milovan Kovacevic. Trial in Serbia was to begin yesterday, but was postponed until today when a deal could be announced. He's accused of severely beating Brian Steinhauer at a bar in Binghamton in 2008. The Serbian government paid Steinhauer's family $900,000. Kovacevic jumped bail and fled to his native Serbia, where officials refused to extradite him. The plea deal reportedly would have him serving 2 years and 3 months in prison.
There is more trouble this morning for the imam behind the proposed closed Islamic Community Center near Ground Zero. He is now said to be the target of a lawsuit, and it has nothing to do with all of the mosque controversy. CBS 2's Jay Dow live in Union City, New Jersey with the story. Good morning, Jay.
Well, good morning to you, Maurice. On one hand, we have a reported lawsuit against the imam here in Union City, New Jersey, in his capacity as a private landlord. On the other, we have the controversy surrounding his proposed Islamic center in the city and its proximity to Ground Zero. Two totally separate issues. But the question is, will one controversy affect the other?
We are exploring all options. Everything is on the table.
The latest comments from Imam Faisal Abdul Rauf point to a possible compromise on his proposed Islamic center near Ground Zero. But even as he attempts to redefine his image as an ordinary American,
I vote in elections, I pay taxes, I pledge allegiance to the flag, and I'm a Giants fan.
this morning, the Star-Ledger is reporting the imam is once again being assailed in his private life, this time by Union City officials as a, quote, terrible landlord. The newspaper reports a new city lawsuit seeks to place these two apartment buildings owned by Imam Rauf into receivership on charges he failed to address ordinance violations and dozens of tenant complaints. The lawsuit is the latest jab at the imam's public image, but when it comes to winning over critics of his project, some of the wounds could be perceived as self-inflicted. Yesterday, the imam disputed the notion that the center's proposed location on Park Place, 2 blocks north of Ground Zero, is hallowed ground.
It is absolutely disingenuous, as many have said, that that block is hallowed ground, with a strip joint around the corner, with bedding parlors.
That may be where he really differs with the American people and with the people of New York City. It is indeed hollow ground.
A Union City spokesman tells the Star-Ledger that the city's lawsuit is unrelated to the mosque controversy. We're live in Union City this morning. Jay Dow, CBS 2 News.
Jay, thank you. A mother on Long Island is scheduled to be arraigned today on child endangerment charges after allegedly leaving her baby alone in a car while she left to smoke marijuana. Suffolk County Police found Karen Edelman's 1-year-old son alone in a car outside her Shirley home yesterday. Witnesses claim he'd been there for about 40 minutes. Investigators say the 43-year-old was inside her home smoking pot. Edelman is charged with child endangerment, marijuana possession, and resisting arrest.
A police officer in Rockland County remains in the hospital this morning, nearly 2 weeks after collapsing during a grueling training session during a heat wave. Questions remain as well as to whether the training should have been conducted at all. CBS 2's Lou Young has a story of the officer whose injuries were so serious he needed an organ transplant.
It happened here where cops and firefighters are put to the test, and it nearly killed Ramapo police officer Richard Dubé, a 6'6", 39-year-old giant of a man training with a countywide counterterrorism team. The fallen officer's boss says Rockland County officials should have known better than to push cops to the limit during the heat wave.
I am questioning whether or not the county should have had that training going on when the county themselves, the health commissioner, had issued an alert that day to curtail outside activity because of the air quality and because of the temperature nearing 100 degrees.
It's a physically demanding test. Lots of running, climbing, jumping, pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups. There were 8 people who participated, but only 1 who succumbed to the heat. Officer Dubé seemed to get ill, then collapsed. The paramedic on duty went immediately to his aid. When he was removed from the scene here, I'm told his core temperature was more than 108 degrees. Dubé went into a coma. His liver was so badly damaged he underwent a transplant last week at Westchester Medical Center and remains in serious condition 12 days after the incident. The men in charge of the elite reaction team he was training with are offering sympathy but no apologies for the incident.
These are SWAT team members that if they had to respond to an incident, clearly that they would have to respond in any type of condition.
If there was a hostage situation that day, we would have to ignore that heat advisory and get to that hostage or get to a bank robbery or whatever the case may be.
The Ramapo town supervisor says not good enough. He wants a change in policy and the county to pick up the bill for Officer Richard Dubé's line of duty injury. In Rockland County, Lou Young, CBS 2 News.
New Jersey education officials apparently learned from their mistakes. The state just learned it's getting $268 million from the federal government. Most of it will go toward retraining teachers and preventing layoffs. The announcement of the award came just weeks after an error on an application cost New Jersey a $400 million education grant.
10 after 6, time to talk weather. And, you know, there was a nice window yesterday where you could play 18.
Yeah, there was. It was
and
perfect.
some of us did.
Well, good for how'd you
Just
do?
wanted to point that out.
How'd you do?
Some good, some bad.
Come on, what's the number?
There was no number. It was one of these. No, it was an event where there's a scramble and everyone's playing a team.
He did that well.
It was a team thing.
Good. You were like 1,200.
Come on.
I know. Well,
good time.
Today is a great golf day. Tomorrow's a good golf day. Chore day, fun day. It's late Thursday into Friday. Next chance for rain.
Did you say chore day and fun day in the same sentence?
Absolutely. Sometimes chores are fun.
Oh.
You know what? Working in the yard, work can be therapeutic. Isn't it nice to get out there, get your hands dirty, and get those jobs done? It's still summertime. We'll feel like it today. Outside right now, 61 degrees now. 52 in Newburgh, 50 in Monticello, still 57 in Greenwich, 52 in Sparta, 51 in Edison. Visibility still far worse north and west of the city. It's actually improving for parts of the Hudson Valley and for parts of New Jersey as well. We're dry, still dealing with the fog. High pressure builds in for another 18 holes today. Let's do 27. We've got 79, sunny and breezy, a west wind blowing and blowing in some welcome changes today and tomorrow. And to make it even sweeter, today is National Cream-Filled Donut Day. So enjoying your favorite cream-filled donut.
Those are good.
There they are.
Hey, I got to ask the class what you think of Lady Gaga. You guys see this yesterday?
Flank
meat.
steak.
She's wearing an outfit made of meat. Butcher's not happy. Never mind the fashionistas. Butcher said it's cheap meat, rib meat, and flank steak.
She didn't wear filet mignon.
She could have done better, right?
I was just wondering what it must have been like sitting next to her with the raw meat.
You can have some salt and pepper with that, please.
She went to pick up the dress and said, "Where's the beef?"
No.
Yeah.
Time to move on. Yeah.
Steak on the plate, not on the body.
Yes.
Good morning. That's just my opinion. We have had a rough start at the 59th Street Bridge this morning as we change gears. Let's head up now to Jim Smith, Chopper 2 HD, with the very latest. Jim.
Yeah, Katie, this was a Queens-bound tractor-trailer on the upper level, which struck an overpass. You could see where it ripped off part of the roof here. This was heading out towards the area of Jackson Avenue and Northern Boulevard. Now, because of the lane reversals here going into effect for the morning commute, that upper level is now turned into a Manhattan-bound roadway. That one of the ramps has been blocked off. Some of the traffic being diverted over towards 21st Street will take you over here towards Jackson Avenue. You can see very little traffic here, very little impact, but keep this in mind if you're traveling and planning on using the upper level. Live in Chopper 2 HD, Jim Smith, Channel 2 News.
Thank you very much, Jim. I do have some better news for you if you are traveling in Westchester on 684 on the northbound side, right past exit 6 in Katona. That earlier crash is finally cleared, and all lanes are now open. Alternate side parking rules, they're in effect citywide today. Marion Maurice.
Katie, thanks so much.
6:13 still to come this morning. Closure for a grieving family. A judge hands down a sentence to the driver responsible for the hit-and-run death of a beloved Long Island teacher.
And fiery moments following that massive explosion, the panic and the chaos as an entire neighborhood is incinerated in California.
And harassment allegations against the Jets. The female sports reporter at the center of the scandal is speaking out.
An Albany politician for Attorney General? Eric Schneiderman's been a state senator for 12 years. He was one of the leaders who shut down the Senate for nearly 4 months when they couldn't pass a budget on time, and cut a deal putting Pedro Espada in charge, who's under investigation for tax fraud and money laundering. Kathleen Rice is a prosecutor who's put corrupt public officials in prison, and she'll fight Albany corruption as hard as she fought violent crime. Kathleen Rice for Attorney General.
Now, what are these made out of? Real gold. Really? Because there's a lot of fakes out there. No? Handbags, watches, fake channels. Verizon Files says those. Well, they say they got a lot of HD channels, but a bunch of them are just copies of channels you already have. They're fakes. This is real gold. Only Time Warner Cable has the most unique HD channels. No fakes like these glasses. Those are imported. Imported from where? Jersey.
No time-shifted duplicate HD channels? Verizon Fios can't say that. Time Warner Cable can. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
This rock has never stood still. Since our beginning, we've been there for clients through good times and bad. When our clients' needs changed, we changed to meet them. Through the years, when some lost their way, we led the way with new ideas for the financial challenges we knew would lie ahead. This rock has never stood still. And there's one thing that will never change. We are the rock you can rely on. Prudential.
Winner of the highest predicted residual value rating in its class, 5 years in a row. The 2010 Range Rover Sport. Powered by intelligence.
The Federal Occupation Safety and Health Administration is looking into a deadly collapse of a steel beam at a construction site on the Yale University campus. The heavy beam slammed into a cherry picker, trapping 4 workers. One of the victims died at the hospital. A second remains in critical condition. A third is in serious condition. The 4th victim was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. It's the second accident in 5 weeks at the Yale construction site.
And from California, we're getting some new searing images of last week's pipeline tragedy. A surveillance camera at a gas station captured this video of Thursday's explosion in San Bruno. In the upper left there, the fireball erupted when a natural gas line erupted, leveling an entire neighborhood and killing at least 4 people. Those who heard it said they thought a plane had crashed, maybe even an earthquake. Other surveillance cameras captured some of the panic that followed the explosion. The cause of the rupture is still not known, but regulators have ordered an immediate inspection of all natural gas lines in the state of California.
And you can imagine people just had no idea what was happening there. Just race out of the store, try to figure out what's going on.
Who would expect that? Hope they're checking lines everywhere.
Yeah, they
like in our backyard right now.
My neighbor had to call because he smelled gas. He smelled gas. They came out and no. Then they finally found it.
Where?
And they fixed it right in front of his house.
Whoa.
Ooh. Yeah.
You mean the city line?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So you got to, if you smell it, call.
Yeah.
And B, the clarion call.
If you smell something, say something.
Absolutely.
Yes. How about that?
That's a good idea. Yeah. Works on a couple of levels too, doesn't it?
We'd be talking all morning.
Where's Lady Gaga's dress? Good morning, Katie, Mary, Maurice, and you, our cherished viewer. I tell you what, we are going to cherish the weather today because it's going to be a beautiful summer day. After we deal with a few low clouds and fog this morning, then it's smooth sailing into some sunny skies and warmer temperatures this afternoon. Outside right now, well, we're at 61 in the city, and we can see the city. We can see. So no major problems with visibility there, are there, Greg?
No, sir.
Look at that. No, sir. Oh, Greg. And we are seeing some improving conditions for parts of the Hudson Valley into New Jersey as well. But with elevation, still dealing with some fog. It's kind of morning where if you're driving into work, you're going to drive through it and then out of it closer to the city. Clearing 61 in the city of New York. Winds are variable at 5, predominantly a west wind. Will be breezy again today. Relative humidity dropping a bit at 87%, but it's relative to a slightly warmer reading as well. 61 in Lynbrook, 53 in Smithtown, 57 in Oceanport. Pretty morning for the Jersey Shore and up into the lower Hudson Valley where we saw more fog last hour. Fewer reports coming in this hour. Still, it's out there, so be mindful of it. A few extra minutes and you're okay because you want to go a little slower in and out of those low clouds. 59 in Boston, 64 in Philadelphia, 65 in D.C. Cooler for the Great Lakes. We've actually got another cold front tonight into Wednesday, so we'll see cooler numbers tomorrow. But today, soak it in. Really nice weather. A west-northwest wind, so a bit breezy. You'll feel the wind, but it's kind of a warm wind blowing today. Tomorrow, here comes a front kind of flirting with us. Will be cooler, though, tomorrow into Thursday. Thursday's going to be the interesting day, definitely a transition day with clouds on the move and then some rain later. And then we could see some heavy rain early on Friday, and that would bode well for a Friday getaway in the afternoon, as we would like to clear that out earlier on Friday. But it's late Thursday into at least midday Friday. So sunny skies becoming breezy, 79 and feeling fine. Tonight's going to be an okay night, 59 in the city. So that means cooler for the suburbs. And do watch for some clouds as a dry front pushes through, leaves us with cooler numbers Wednesday and Thursday, and the next chance of rain is Friday. Some great American history for the kids today. 1814, the Star-Spangled Banner was written, of course, during the War of 1812. And 1948, they broke ground for the United Nations right here in New York. So a little back-to-school lesson for you.
Well done. Thank you, John.
And now over to Kay with traffic.
Still some trouble lingering for us this morning at the 59th Street Bridge. And back to Jim Smith and Chopper 2 HD we go with the latest. Jim.
Yeah, and Katie, just to cut down on some of the confusion here, here's what is affected. If you're traveling off of Queens Boulevard or Thompson Avenue trying to get to the upper level of the 59th Street Bridge, that is what is being affected here. This tractor trailer was traveling Queensbound on the upper level. That upper level now gets reversed going into Manhattan. However, one of those ramps now shut down. You'll have to use 21st Street or the other upper level to access Manhattan this morning. Live in Chopper 2 HD, Jim Smith, CBS 2 News.
Thank you very much, Jim. Let's take a look at the Hudson River crossings where we've got an easier ride at this point. GW Bridge, all approaches look great for you into the toll plaza. Traffic's starting to build a little bit, but it's moving pretty quickly. Upper level, lower level slowing down just a tad for you. Lincoln and Holland, less than a 5-minute wait at both. Taking transit, looking pretty good for the most part. No major problems to report. Do want to remind those of you in New Jersey, the DeCamp bus strike does continue today, but service is scheduled to resume on that bus line tomorrow. Alternate sides in effect citywide today. Mary and Maurice, back to you.
Katie, thank you.
6:21 still to come. Super bug concerns. Scientists try to unlock the secrets behind drug-resistant bacteria.
Plus, hitting the beach. Instead of the Hollywood red carpet, the star-studded premiere of the new Hawaii 5-0.
And then in sports, the Yankees and Rays battling it out for first place.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3 on the breaking ball.
Wake up, New York. Start your morning with a freshly ground, freshly brewed Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Hey, did you know that in the race for Attorney General, there's only one Democrat who's actually served as Assistant AG? Only Eric Dinalo. Dinalo's prosecuted corruption and violence, so we know he's not going to back down to Albany or the NRA. And as Spitzer's deputy, it was Dinalo who led the fight to hold Wall Street accountable before it was cool. And only Dinalo took on big insurance and got health care for 400,000 New Yorkers. That's why the Daily News is endorsing Dinalo as the only one with the right experience for the job. For AG, go with Dinalo.
Jaguar Platinum coverage is not just a warranty. It's a belief in everything we do. It's a 5-year, 50,000-mile promise with complimentary scheduled maintenance, no-cost replacement of wear and tear items, and 24/7 roadside assistance. Because when you create the most beautiful, fast cars on Earth, you create an ownership experience to match. Jaguar's best-in-class Platinum coverage is included on all 2011 Jaguars. See your tri-state area Jaguar dealer for details.
If you're a New York area resident who's been exposed to workplace asbestos, listen carefully. All law firms are not created equal. In New York, it's crucial to choose the right representation. Whites & Luxenberg is an acknowledged leader in New York asbestos litigation, helping New York area families challenge asbestos manufacturers and win for over 20 years. Who you choose to represent you really does matter, especially in New York. Whites & Luxenberg. For over 2 decades, New Yorkers helping New Yorkers.
Have you ever seen a glacier while sunbathing? Why not? Have you ever climbed a rock wall in the middle of the ocean? Or tried something really wild? Why not? It's all possible in the nation of why not. Royal Caribbean's floating nation, where you're free to do anything you want, which may be nothing at all. Royal Caribbean International. Visit RoyalCaribbean.com today.
Equality and fairness. Those are the values that our justice system stands for. But too often, and for too many, they're words we simply don't live up to. That's why I've dedicated my career to fighting for one system of justice, where we're all safe from drugs and gun violence, and where kids aren't locked up and forgotten, but given a chance to succeed. Because being Attorney General is about more than talking tough on crime. It's about seeking justice for everyone.
Democrat Eric Schneiderman for Attorney General.
6:24, time now for sports.
Sam Ryan with your CBS 2 WFAN Sports Update.
Good morning. All the preparations, all the preseason drama now in the past. The Jets opened the 2010 season and their new home in the national spotlight on Monday Night Football last night, hosting the Baltimore Ravens. And this one, a 15-minute delay at the start of the game due to lightning. Jets, though, wasting no time on defense. Ravens' first possession, Shaun Ellis and Brian Thomas tag team sacking Joe Flacco. The Jets recover, heading to the first field goal of the game. The Jets up 6-0 in the second, but a pair of late penalties brought the Ravens to the Jets' 1. Then Willis McGahee makes him pay as he goes into the end zone. 7-6 Ravens at halftime. Jets, by the way, had 10 first-half penalties. Jets offense never got off the ground, trailing 10-9 late in the fourth. Still had a chance to win it on the final drive. 2nd and 10, Mark Sanchez to Dustin Keller, but Ray Lewis levels him to the ground on the incomplete pass. Last chance for the Jets, 4th and 10. Sanchez to Keller again, this time complete, but he steps out just shy of the mark, and that will do it for the Jets. They manage only 6 first downs all game. Mark Sanchez, 10 of 21 for 74 yards, and the Ravens spoil the Jets' home opener, 10-9.
Had a poor outing, really undisciplined, and it's really too bad because there's a lot of talent in here, and I think we all feel the same way. We're just just disappointed in ourselves, and we all have a lot of work to do.
We got to be physical, but you got to play smart. I mean, we pride ourselves on playing great defense, physical defense, but you've got to be, you can't have those penalties. We got to be smarter than that.
And Jets nose tackle Chris Jenkins limped off the field in the first quarter of this one. No update on his condition as of yet, just a left knee injury. To baseball, the Yankees went into last night trying to end a mini 3-game losing streak as they were facing the Rays, who, oh, by the way, went into the game trailing the Yankees by half game in the AL East. And this one, a pitchers duo at Tropicana Field, CeCe Sabathia and David Price, yielding no runs in 8 innings, 9 strikeouts for CeCe, who was still looking for his 20th win of the season. So extra innings, still no score in the 11th win. Reed Brignacki connecting off Sergio Mitre, the walk-off home run. Yanks lose their 4th straight 1-0 as Tampa takes over first place by half game. Ivan Nova pitches for the Yanks tonight. Pirates and Mets at Citi Field, another extra inning game, but the Mets end up on the winning side of this one. Nick Evans, the pinch hit, base hit in the 10th, scoring Ruben Tejada from second. The Mets win it in walk-off fashion, 1-0 the final. It is R.A. Dickey pitching for the Mets tonight, and Johan Santana will have that surgery on his shoulder later today. And finally, a day late, but they finally got in the men's championship match at the U.S. Open yesterday in Flushing Meadows between Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. But Mother Nature's trying to do her best to interrupt this one in the second set, about a 2-hour rain delay. Nadal would lose that set in his first set loss of the entire tournament, but Rafa's shown why he's this year's #1 seed. He comes back to win the third set 6-4 and then closes out the match winning 6-2 in the fourth set. Nadal winning the U.S. Open for the first time in his career, becoming the 7th man in history to win the career Grand Slam. From the new Meadowlands Stadium, I am Sam Ryan, CBS 2 Sports.
CBS 2 Sports is brought to you by Audi.
6:27, much more to come this morning. We'll update you weather and traffic, plus all your top stories.
But first, here's Katie McGee with your morning air report.
And so far, flights are on or close to schedule at LaGuardia, Kennedy, and Newark Liberty airports.
Yoga, great exercise. So many benefits for your body and your mind. But
it felt like my muscles were melting off my bones.
Serious risks from yoga? CBS 2 with why you could be stretched to the limit. Tonight at 11.
A lot of people ask me why I'm running for Senate. Here's why. This lunchbox. It represents a lot of people who've lost jobs. Washington has created the perfect job-killing storm with higher taxes, deficit spending, and expensive healthcare mandates. We need experienced job creators in Washington, not more job killers. I'm Linda McMahon, and I approve this message because we need this lunchbox and a lot more like it back at work.
Did you know that the Kia Sorento has class-leading V6 horsepower? Did you know the Sorento is a top safety pick? Did you know it comes with advanced technology? And do you know which competitor offers all of this, plus third-row seating? The CR-V or the Equinox? Answer is neither. The Kia Sorento. The more you know, the better it gets. And right now, lease the Sorento for $239 a month.
Why are U.S. schools falling behind the rest of the world? And how can we help the next generation succeed? Reading, writing, and reform. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
It's a beautiful feeling. When you shop at Woodbury Common Premium Outlets, you can have it all. 220 legendary brands, abundant selection, and real savings of 25 to 65% every day. It's everything shopping should be. Woodbury Common Premium Outlets. Shop brilliantly.
Where do you find the energy to give someone flight or chase life's treasures? Introducing Alive, a complete and potent multivitamin packed with over 20 fruits and vegetables. Alive, a new kind of multivitamin that brings energy to life.
I told him, you tried to kill me and my family. The cops are on their way.
Judge Judy.
212-777-7777. In the day, 7. Throughout the night, 7. Wherever you're going, 7. Dial 7. Car and limousine service takes you there. Dial 7. 212-777-7777.
This Dial 7 Air Report is brought to you by 212-777-7777. You're watching CBS 2 News this morning in high definition.
Possible political shakeups. New York voters hit the polls with several key primary races on the line.
Accused of neglecting his tenants in New Jersey. New legal troubles for the imam behind the so-called Ground Zero mosque project.
And I say I'm very uncomfortable.
The female sports reporter at the center of New York Jets harassment scandal opens up about the locker room incident. Good morning. I'm Mary Calvi.
And I'm Maurice Dubois. Great to have you with us on this Tuesday morning, September 14th at 6:31. Let us get into weather and traffic and a brighter day ahead, John.
Oh, real improvement today. It's going to be nice. Morning, Mary and Maurice. Hi, everybody. Still some patchy fog in the area. Things are improving, though, and they will continue. We'll see more sun and some nice numbers. The warmest day of the week will be today. Breezy and warm, high of 79. Sun's up in just a few minutes. If you can see it, still more fog west of the city and parts of Long Island. It's better in the lower Hudson Valley. We'll mix it into the atmosphere. Sunsets at 7:07. Should be a nice one today. Kids just getting up. Hey, it's a real important week for the school kids. We'll have that for you in the 7-day in just a bit. Right now, though, right back to Mary and Maurice.
John, thanks.
Hey, Katie, how about traffic?
Rough ride this morning at the 59th Street Bridge. I wish we had some good news, but troubles continue. Back to Jim Smith and Chopper 2 HD with the very latest. Jim.
Yeah, Katie, this tractor trailer which struck an overpass, it's limiting access to the upper level, blocking off one of the ramps from Thompson Avenue to the Manhattan-bound upper level of the bridge. You can see the cleanup ongoing here. The roof was ripped off of that truck. There is some slow traffic, though, on the other ramps getting to the upper level. Live in Chopper 2 HD, Jim Smith, CBS 2 News.
Thank you very much, Jim. As for the ride through Queens, not too bad at this point. Van Wyck, in fact, nice and easy for you in both directions, coming in and out of the Kew Gardens Interchange, the Jackie, the Grand Central, and the LIE. They're all off to a pretty decent start this morning. Alternate sides in effect citywide today. Mary, back to you.
Katie, thank you. It is primary day 2010 in New York. The polls have been open here for about 30 minutes or so, and there were several closely watched races at stake. CBS 2's Catherine Brown is at a polling station in Harlem. Catherine.
Good morning, Mary. And a few people inside here at PS 175. As you mentioned, the polls opened at 6 o'clock this morning. Analysts do expect relatively low voter turnout today, about 10%. But those who do turn out to vote will get to cast their ballots on a number of high-profile races, everything from the governor on down. The race to lock up the Republican nomination for governor is razor thin. Former Representative Rick Lazio has sealed the GOP's endorsement.
I've been a Contract with America congressman. I was on the budget committee that wrote the first balanced budget. I've always voted to lower taxes.
But he's fighting a late race surge from Carl Palladino, a Buffalo businessman who's been embraced by the Tea Party.
I found out that they're all just like us.
The Republican nominee will face off against Democrat Andrew Cuomo, who's exiting his post as Attorney General, leaving a hotly contested void.
Meet Kathleen Rice, Democrat for Attorney General.
Nassau County District Attorney Kathleen Rice, a Democrat, will square off against State Senator Eric Schneiderman, her biggest opposition in a five-way race. She's worked to cast Schneiderman as an Albany insider, but he has labor unions in his corner and has been gaining momentum.
We're not going to give it back. We waited too long.
Meantime, scandal-scarred State Senator Pedro Espada has a tough battle for re-election.
We will sing the song of victory and push our enemies out.
The Bronx Democrat is facing a slew of corruption charges, and his opponent, Gustavo Rivera, has been endorsed by the Reverend Al Sharpton and a number of local newspapers. Voters will also decide whether to send Charlie Rangel back to Washington. The Harlem Democrat is trying to fend off a field of 5 challengers who say he's too tarnished by ethics concerns to keep his job.
Everybody believes it's a big cloud, and they don't give you, they tell you you're under confidentiality. Your reputation's out there.
Charlie Rangel and Governor Patterson both expected to vote here at PS 175 a little later this morning, and they'll be using brand new electronic voting machines that were just recently unveiled statewide. Live this morning in Harlem, I'm Catherine Brown, CBS 2 News.
And polls are open until 9 p.m. Be sure to stay with CBS 2 and CBSNewYork.com for complete primary day coverage. We will have election results tonight at 11.
A teacher from Long Island will be spending as many as 4 years in prison after a deadly DUI accident. 20-year-old Shay Rosen pleaded guilty last May to vehicular manslaughter in connection with the accident in November of '08. Police say Rosen was high on drugs when he slammed his SUV into Amanda Malloy and a friend while they jogged on a road in Huntington. He's now facing 1 to 4 years in prison. Malloy was a beloved teacher at a middle school in Deer Park.
The man accused of slashing the neck of a Muslim taxi driver last month is being denied bail. 21-year-old Michael Enright of Brewster, New York, is charged with attempted murder for attacking driver Ahmed Sharif with a folding knife in what's been classified as a hate crime. His attorney says Enright suffers from post-traumatic stress and chronic alcoholism.
The imam at the center of the proposed Islamic Center near Ground Zero is facing a completely different controversy this morning. He's reportedly been slapped with a lawsuit accusing him of being a slumlord. CBS 2's Jay Dow live in Union City, New Jersey with the story. Good morning, Jay.
Well, good morning, Maurice. The reported lawsuit against the imam here in New Jersey is a totally separate new issue, but the question is, how will it affect the debate surrounding his proposed Islamic Center in the city?
We are exploring all options. Everything is on the table.
The latest comments from Imam Faisal Abdul Rauf point to a possible compromise on his proposed Islamic Center near Ground Zero. But even as he attempts to redefine his image as an ordinary American,
I vote in elections. I pay taxes, I pledge allegiance to the flag, and I'm a Giants fan.
this morning the Star-Ledger is reporting the imam is once again being assailed in his private life, this time by Union City officials as a, quote, terrible landlord. The newspaper reports a new city lawsuit seeks to place these 2 apartment buildings owned by Imam Rauf into receivership on charges he failed to address ordinance violations and dozens of tenant complaints. The lawsuit is the latest jab at the imam's public image, but when it comes to winning over critics of his project, some of the wounds could be perceived as self-inflicted. Yesterday, the imam disputed the notion that the center's proposed location on Park Place, 2 blocks north of Ground Zero, is hallowed ground.
It is absolutely disingenuous, as many have said, that that block is hallowed ground, with a strip joint around the corner, with bedding parlors.
That may be where he really differs with the American people and with the people of New York City. It is indeed hollow ground.
A Union City spokesman tells the Star-Ledger the lawsuit has no connection to the mosque controversy. We're live in Union City this morning. Jay Dow, CBS 2 News.
Jay, thank you. Both on and off the field, Monday was a day to forget for the New York Jets. The team lost its season opener, and the Jets learned the NFL is looking into a reporter's claim she was sexually harassed by its members on Saturday. The reporter for a Mexico TV station was at the Jets practice on Saturday. She says players and coaches directed a stream of catcalls and other comments at her.
I feel the environment very uncomfortable, so I don't even turn around, no any part. And I say I'm very uncomfortable because I hear the noise. I know that they are speaking about me.
Jets owner Woody Johnson apologized to her over the phone. She accepted, but the NFL may not be as forgiving. The league has opened an investigation into what happened.
An Ulster County woman learns the hard way about posting on Facebook, and Stuyvesant Town may be looking a little bit more like a co-op city.
Ashley Morrison's here with an explanation on all of it in today's Money Watch report. Hi, Ashley.
Hi again, guys. Well, an 80-acre New York City housing complex could be going co-op. 2 investors who are seeking control of Manhattan's Peter Cooper Village and Stuyvesant Town are proposing to convert the complex into a co-op. According to the New York Times, the city council is open to the proposal, but says keeping the housing complex affordable is non-negotiable. New York City is about to get its first casino, and it could turn the struggling horse track aqueduct into a moneymaker. The state comptroller has given final approval for the video slots at the Queens racetrack. The gaming operator says within a year there will be 4,500 slots, a high-end Chinese restaurant, a sports bar, a buffet, and an indoor water show. And be careful what you put on your Facebook page. An upstate New York woman who bragged on Facebook that she was collecting unemployment benefits while working as an apartment manager is now facing 3 years probation. After investigators discovered her posting, the woman was sentenced on felony charges of grand larceny and workers' compensation fraud. She will also be paying back the nearly $9,000 in benefits that she wasn't supposed to receive in the first place. And
wow.
Why? I mean, come on. It's shocking that she did it, but more shocking, she advertised it.
She actually posted it.
Before Facebook, she gets away with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, well.
They say everyone's watching.
Yep.
All right, Ashley, thanks.
Wow.
What's your status? Fraudulent. You know,
Locked up.
What's your status?
Stealing.
Dense.
Arrested.
9 bars. Yee. Well, good morning, Ashley. Good morning, Mary and Maurice. And thank you for stopping by on this somewhat foggy morning, but it will be a brighter day, a beautiful day today. High pressure firmly in control today, and it's the warmest day of the week as well. So a little bit of gray out there. Boy, you head west out on the 80 or 78 or 46 or 3. You're going to in and out of these pockets of fog, and up 1 and 9. You're going to see some in parts of the Hudson Valley, even into Long Island as well. You can see it. So it's a cool period of the day, and with the residual moisture from yesterday, a little bit of fog, but in the city, oh, we're looking nice, and you can see clear and 61. Winds are variable at 5. Relative humidity is at 87%. Numbers around the area. Cool start to the morning. Will be cool again tomorrow morning. 49 now in Walden, 61 in Sayville, 59 in Westbury, 55 in Armonk, 54 in Madison. We've had some very dense fog around Madison this morning. 79, though, this afternoon. High pressure takes over. We've got a nice warm day. 75 is the normal, so exceeding expectations, climatologically speaking. 93 and 46, the records. 7:07, your sunset time. Should see a lot of sun today. Yesterday, we saw the sun, saw the pockets of bright blue, and then those clouds thickened, and the rain just came down. Newark, almost an inch of rain. Over ½ an inch in Somerville. Sussex, about ½ an inch. Almost there at Caldwell, JFK, and Central Park. Not as much, but still some gusty winds affiliated with these storms. Well, they're out of here. We have some clouds out there, some low clouds and fog in parts of the area, but high pressure builds in today. The current reading, now let's see what goes on over the next few days. Putting the maps into motion and looking ahead, Tuesday's nice. I think your Wednesday's relatively event-free. It's a little cooler. Then on Thursday, here come the clouds, and then late Thursday, early Friday, another front pushes through. Could see another round of some heavy rain on Friday, so we'll definitely be watching that. Today, hey, you need the sunscreen and the sunglasses. 79, your high today. Next few days, Wednesday and Thursday, dry for the most part. It's late Thursday into Friday where we have that next chance of rain. And as a part, I guess, apology, part, I guess, to make things right, I have to say again, today is National Substitute Teacher Appreciation Week. I did some bad things in middle school and high school.
Yeah, like what? What'd you
So
do?
kids, if you're going in and you have a sub, I know it's early in the year, just make sure you appreciate those substitute teachers. They have a hard job.
They really do.
So what'd you do?
Oh boy, it's time for traffic. We would substitute names. We would do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So substitute teachers,
It
we
brings
appreciate
back
you.
fond memories,
It
though.
does.
That's not nice.
That's their end of the day.
That's
bad.
right.
It was
Not
bad.
ours.
I'm
It
coming
was-
over here, Katie.
Mea culpa.
My mom was a substitute teacher, so
Really?
they all, the other ones knew who I was. I don't know.
No.
Very well behaved,
Yes,
as
I
we are
bet.
right now. Mary, Maurice, John, good morning, and good morning to you. It's getting busy out there. Let's start things off in Westchester and some new troubles on the Sprain. Heading northbound at Hospital Road in Valhalla, there's a vehicle fire being worked on. One lane right now is closed down. To the GW Bridge, where you can see the inbound upper level resembles a bit of a parking lot. You've got an accident being worked on. 2 lanes are closed down. 15 minutes to the upper level, 10 minutes to the lower level. Lincoln and Holland are 10 minutes each, and no problems once you're through the tolls. Alternate sides in effect citywide today, Mary and Maurice.
Thank you, Katie.
All right, here we got another one still to come. Is the fair sex the cleanest gender? The new study revealing who really washes their hands.
All righty then. And a star-studded night in Honolulu. Thousands of fans welcome the new cast of Hawaii 5-0. Back in a minute.
Real women with real issues, they're getting ready to make major changes.
The Dr. Phil Housewives. Today at 3, only on CBS 2 HD.
Room for 7. Innovative safety for all. The 2010 Acura MDX.
Take advantage of attractive offers on the 2010 Acura MDX for well-qualified customers.
An Albany politician for Attorney General? Eric Schneiderman's been a state senator for 12 years. He was one of the leaders who shut down the Senate for nearly 4 months when they couldn't pass a budget on time, and cut a deal putting Pedro Espada in charge, who's under investigation for tax fraud and money laundering. Kathleen Rice is a prosecutor who's put corrupt public officials in prison, and she'll fight Albany corruption as hard as she fought violent crime. Kathleen Rice for Attorney General.
You're invited
Fashion's night out.
to a star-studded party.
Celebrate.
fashion.
Spotlighting the legends, hottest designers, and rising stars.
So don't miss it.
Neil Patrick Harris hosts
The Making of
Fashion's Night Out 2010. Tonight, 10/9 Central. Only CBS 2.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Did the little piggy cry wee, wee, wee all the way home?
Maxwell.
Yeah?
You're home.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Mrs. A.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Room for 7. Innovative safety for all. The 2010 Acura MDX.
Take advantage of attractive offers on the 2010 Acura MDX for well-qualified customers.
They started with planting evidence to put away the bad guys.
Some of them went rogue.
A secret society inside the New York Police Department.
Blue Bloods. CBS Fridays this fall.
Good morning. Just about 6:46. We'll update you traffic and weather in just a bit.
But first, here's a quick update on some of the stories we're following for you this morning. A plea bargain is expected to be announced today in the trial of a Serbian man accused of beating a Brooklyn student into a coma.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton now in Egypt to start a second round of Mideast peace talks between Israeli and Palestinian leaders.
And President Obama heads to Philly today to deliver a back-to-school address to students, the second of his presidency.
Now to health news. A new survey finds improvements in hand washing, but health officials are worried about an emerging superbug.
Dr. Max Gomez is here with all of that and more in this morning's Health Watch. Good morning.
Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Maurice. A study by the Centers for Disease Control found that a mercury-based preservative does not increase a child's risk of autism. Thimerosal has been out of pediatric vaccines for several years now. Researchers say children who were exposed as babies to thimerosal were not more likely to develop autism. Experts say while the reason some children develop autism remains a mystery, the focus should shift to other potential causes. Well, a gene that can turn some bacteria into antibiotic-resistant superbugs may be spreading. The cases of so-called NDM1 infections that have been found in the U.S. and Canada all involve people who recently received medical treatment in India, where the problem is growing. So far, the gene has mostly been found in bacteria that cause gut or urinary infections, and they are resistant to all but a couple of antibiotics. Well, Americans are washing their hands more often. A new study finds 85% of people wash their hands in public restrooms. That's up 8% from 2007, and the highest rate since the survey began 14 years ago. Researchers speculate that the H1N1 bird flu outbreak last year may have sparked the improvement. The survey also found that women wash their hands more often than men. Go figure.
Surprise, surprise.
85% is supposed to be good? I mean, if you're shooting free throws,
it's just more than it used to be. That's all I'm saying. No judgment there.
50% still not.
We see it all the time, you know. Nameless people.
Yeah, no comment. I can't say anything. Wow. What can I tell you?
Thanks so much.
I just washed. Come on.
Well,
I know the rule. Before you come to the desk, you wash your hands.
Can't wash enough around here.
Well, that's another story for the I team. Good morning, Dr. Max. Good morning, Miriam Reese. Hey, and good morning to you. We are going to clean up the weather, too. Needed the rain, got some yesterday. Unfortunately, it was accompanied by some, at times, damaging winds. Nothing like that today. We've got a pretty day to look forward to. A warmer day, a sunny day as well. It's 61 right now in the city, but this afternoon we are going up. 79 is the anticipated high today. That is well above normal. Things are looking nice. Yesterday, all of that heavy rain, it's gone, and we see some nicer conditions today. There is a little bit of fog out there, but we burn it away, and we see 79 for a high today. Okay, I'll be the first to admit I'm not hip, I'm not with it, I'm not cool, but even I know when every now and then a big artist comes along with a huge autobiographical hit.
They tried to make me go to rehab. I said no.
Actually, it's kind of catchy. It's somewhat ironic, but nothing ironic about her birthday. Amy Winehouse is 27 years old today. Speaking of drama, always lots of it on The Young and the Restless, where Michelle Stafford performs as, I think, Phyllis Summers Newman. And you can see that later today. I do know a lot about Square hamburgers and chili and Frosties and Wendy herself, the actual Wendy.
Yes.
Dave Thomas's daughter turns 49 years old today. today.
Wow.
So happy
Does
birthday.
she still wear the
She
braids?
does not still do that, but have a Frosty in honor of Wendy.
Wow.
Thanks, John.
Pretty cool. Katie, what's going on?
Hairstyles advance. Good morning, Maurice. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, everybody. Unfortunately, we've got a bit of a mess here to talk about in the Bronx. Jim Smith, Chopper 2 HD, over the hutch with the details. Jim.
Yeah, Katie, this happened on the northbound Hutch ramp to the westbound Cross Bronx and Bruckner Expressway. Tractor trailer overturned. You can see the roof popped open, and there is all of the cargo now out there on the roadway. Now, there is still one lane open on the ramp getting by. Traffic does slow down getting by the accident site. Probably at some point we will see this ramp shut down for the cleanup ongoing. Live in Chopper 2 HD, Jim Smith, CBS 2 News.
Thank you, Jim. That looks like that may be there for a while. We do have some new troubles to talk about on the island as well to the southern state. We're traveling westbound right past Bethpage Parkway. There's an accident being worked on. It's off on the shoulder. But rubbernecking delays go back to Wellwood Avenue. Once you're past this, traffic slows down again heading into Grand Avenue. As for transit, for the most part, everybody is on or close to schedule. I do want to remind you that in New Jersey, the DeCamp bus strike continues, but we're being told that service is scheduled to resume tomorrow. Alternate sides in effect citywide today. Mary and Maurice, back to you.
Katie, thanks.
6:51 up next, your sports in a flash.
And foregoing Hollywood for Honolulu, we're taking you to a star-studded premiere of the new Hawaii 5-0.
Join CBS 2 and the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation for the annual Walk to Cure Diabetes.
October 3rd in Battery Park. Call or visit cbsnewyork.com or find a walk in your area.
Together, we can make progress towards a cure.
Equality and fairness. Those are the values that our justice system stands for. But too often, and for too many, they're words we simply don't live up to. That's why I've dedicated my career to fighting for one system of justice, where we're all safe from drugs and gun violence, and where kids aren't locked up and forgotten, but given a chance to succeed. Because being Attorney General is about more than talking tough on crime. It's about seeking justice for everyone.
Democrat Eric Schneiderman for Attorney General.
Land Rover LR4.
Hey, did you know that in the race for Attorney General, there's only one Democrat who's actually served as Assistant AG? Only Eric Dinalo. Dinalo's prosecuted corruption and violence, so we know he's not going to back down to Albany or the NRA. And as Spitzer's deputy, it was Dinalo who led the fight to hold Wall Street accountable before it was cool. And only Dinalo took on big insurance and got health care for 400,000 New Yorkers. That's why the Daily News is endorsing Dinalo as the only one with the right experience for the job. For AG, go with Dinalo.
Coming up, grounding your child by taking away texting, restricting social networking, unplugging video games, family discipline in the digital age. What really gets results? Expert advice coming up on The Early Show on CBS 2.
Let's check in with The Early Show. Harry Smith joins us with the preview. Good morning, Harry.
Hey, guys, get busy around here this morning. Our eyes are on the Atlantic Ocean, where a couple of big storms out there brewing around. We've got Igor, and we're going to give you the latest on what's going on with the tropical systems out there that are heading westward, sorry. And, of course, you know this story, right? The female sports reporter covering the New York Jets claims she was harassed in the locker room. She's not really, like, pressing charges, but a lot of people they're sort of up in arms about this, and she will be a guest in our studio this morning. So that and a lot more right here on The Early Show.
All right, Harry, thanks so much. Looking forward to it.
All right, well, fans of Hawaii 5-0 had to hit the beach to check out the stars of the new show. There they were, rolling out the red carpet on the sand in Honolulu last night for the premiere of the new CBS show, The Sunset Showing. Had all the glitz and glamour of a Hollywood premiere. The actors say the new show has something for everyone, including fans of the original series.
Pilot's, filled with action and comedy and, drama. I think you got everything, right?
TV today is a very different animal, and we've got all the good stuff that we have in TV making and filmmaking today, and we've got a reboot of all these characters that we've grown to love over the years.
Dude, you're in Hawaii. Enjoy it.
Wow.
Hawaii 5-0 premieres tonight at 10 o'clock right here on CBS 2. Monday night, I beg your pardon, Monday night.
And now it's time for your CBS 2 WFAN Sports in a Flash.
Good morning, everybody. The Rays move a half game up on the Yankees in the AL East. They did it with a walk-off solo home run in the 11th inning to beat the Yankees 1-0 last night. It is Ivan Nova pitching for the Yankees later today. As for the Mets, they win in walk-off fashion as well. A 1-0 win over the Pirates at Citi Field last night. It's R.A. Dickey pitching for the Mets tonight, and Johan Santana will have surgery on his shoulder later today. In football, at the Meadowlands, the new Meadowlands Stadium last night, the home opener for the Jets and the Ravens played spoiler. A penalty-filled first half, putting Baltimore in position for the game's only touchdown. The Ravens win 10-9, and Rafael Nadal does it. The career Grand Slam, the #1 seed, defeating Novak Djokovic in 4 sets to win the U.S. Open. And that's your Sports in a Flash.
CBS 2 Sports is brought to you by Audi. Yoga, great exercise. So many benefits for your body and your mind. But
it felt like my muscles were melting off my bones.
Serious risks from yoga? CBS 2 with why you could be stretched to the limit. Tonight at 11.
Instantly upconvert your standard definition DVDs into higher definition quality just by pressing play. Resolution Plus, intuitive DVD technology built around the way you live. Just what you'd expect from the laptop expert. Visit laptops.toshiba.com.
This is unlike any car you've ever seen before. This is power with efficiency. This is an interior that exceeds even the promise of the exterior. This is the all-new Jaguar XJ, the stunning result of taking a very different road.
Every 2011 Jaguar includes best-in-class Jaguar Platinum coverage with complimentary scheduled maintenance and no-cost replacement of wear and tear items.
Hey, let me see that map for a second. Just drive, we'll get there.
Adventure runs on Dunkin' with our lineup of oven-toasted breakfast sandwiches. From egg white flatbreads to bagel sandwiches, grab your favorite just the way you like it. America runs on Dunkin'. Hurry into Dunkin' Donuts for a delicious veggie or turkey sausage egg white sandwich.
Sharpen your thinking by chewing the stick of
Live
gum.
an extra 2 years by making nuts your daily disease, but helps fight heart disease as well.
So many cures, so little time. The doctor's 5-minute health fixes.
This morning at 9 a.m.
An Albany politician for Attorney General? Eric Schneiderman's been a state senator for 12 years. He was one of the leaders who shut down the Senate for nearly 4 months when they couldn't pass a budget on time, and cut a deal putting Pedro Espada in charge, who's under investigation for tax fraud and money laundering. Kathleen Rice is a prosecutor who's put corrupt public officials in prison, and she'll fight Albany corruption as hard as she fought violent crime. Kathleen Rice for Attorney General.
Save time searching for pictures, documents, videos, and more with a simple visual scroll. Toshiba Real Time. Intuitive innovation built around the way you work. Just what you'd expect from the laptop expert. Visit laptops.toshiba.com.
Brought to you by the new comedy, You Again. In theaters September 24th.
Bill O'Reilly taking on Jennifer Aniston and Sarah Palin next Insider.
6:58, some final weather words.
It's going to be a nicer day today. Some fog to start today, but then we've got sun this afternoon. Nice numbers, too. 79 your high on Tuesday, pick day of the week. Wednesday, we are going to be cooler, and then that chance of rain, next chance of rain coming in late Thursday into Friday. Staying in the 70s, though, right into the weekend. Enjoy your terrific Tuesday.
We will. Thanks, John.
Final check on traffic, Katie.
Busy ride out there. Let's go back up now to Jim Smith and Chopper 2HD, checking out the very latest on a messy Hutch. Jim.
That's right, Katie. Truck overturned. The cargo came out of the truck. This happened on the northbound Hutch ramp to the westbound Crossbox Expressway and the Bruckner Expressway as well, though traffic is still getting by on that ramp. Live in Chopper 2 HD, Jim Smith, CBS 2 News.
Thank you very much, Jim. We do have an update on the sprain in Westchester, and it's not great news. Northbound, all lanes are now closed down at Hospital Road. That vehicle fire is still in the process of being cleaned up. Across the Hudson River, GW Bridge, and accidents being worked on inbound upper level. If you take it down to the Lincoln or the Holland, they're a little bit bit better in about 10 minutes each. Alternate side parking rules, they're in effect citywide today. Mary and Marie.
What was all that cargo?
What was that?
Undetermined at this point. Boxes of something that is going to be out there for some time while they clean it up.
Someone's not going to get their stuff today.
Yeah, someone's stuff is going to be
If your
delayed.
stuff doesn't make it, it's on the hutch.
And don't go that way because you see everybody stopping to take a look at what the stuff is.
You got it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Stuff
Katie.
on the road. All right, thanks. We'll have another check on news, traffic, and weather in 25 minutes.
Don't forget, you can get our news anytime, anywhere at cbsnewyork.com and at 1010 Wins on the AM radio. Thanks for watching. For the entire CBS 2 News team, I'm Maurice Dubois.
I'm Mary Calvi. The Early Show is next.